Welcome to another episode of the Ohio High School Film Room. In this episode, I have Des Watson of St. Francis de Sales from Columbus. Des, it's great to have you in the film room with me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, Des, during your junior season, you really exploded onto the scene, averaging 23 points a game and really becoming a household name around the state. With all your work in the offseason, did you kind of expect this big of a junior season, ending first team All-State in Division II?
Yes, I did. Some of the things shocked me, but others didn't because I put in a lot of work during the off season. I really didn't miss a day of being in the gym or weight room. So yeah, I kind of did expect this to happen.
Des, one of your biggest strengths on the basketball court is your ability to create your own shot in isolation. I know that you like to do a spin move, also a Euro step. Just what are some of the bag of tricks in your arsenal that you have when you have the ball on the perimeter and are really just faced up one-on-one with your defender?
Well, I have like you just said, the Euro step and the spin move. The in and out and the spin move is really my go-to moves when I'm one-on-one or I'm downhill because I just know that I can get to my spots from those moves and score.
You averaged 23 points a game, had an effective field goal percentage of 54.6. A lot of that was self-created. Is that just a bunch of reps in the gym, just doing different dribble moves against whether it's cones or like dummy defenders to just get those moves ready to be used in a game?
For sure. It's a whole bunch of work put on in the off season and then it came to work during the season. So I worked so much in the off season on those shots, and then when it came to the game, I knew I could make them.
Does with your size and strength, you averaged over 7 rebounds a game, and in a bunch of these plays, you just kind of outmuscle players at the rim. How much of a bully ball approach do you kind of take sometimes when you have the basketball or when you're going for a loose ball, whether that's on the offensive glass?
That's kind of like my mentality. Like as soon as I step on the court, regardless if I have the ball or not, defense, offense, anything, I kind of have like a bully mentality for anything, scoring, rebounding, assisting, getting rebounds, anything.
And then when you're playing in high school, you're a lot stronger than a bunch of players, but then maybe playing AAU on the shoe circuit, maybe that strength is a little bit neutralized. Do you notice maybe playing in AAU that you're not able to bully defenders as often as maybe you would throughout the high school season?
Yeah, for sure. Maybe like during AAU season, I can still bully, but I just have to bully in different ways. It might not be like as easy or just get straight to the point. I might have to do other things to get to the point.
So we've already mentioned how special of an athlete you are and really how much burst you have with the basketball, but sometimes that can kind of be a blessing and a curse because on these plays, it seem like you almost spin yourself out of control and just away from the basket. What do you see in these plays that kind of prevents you from scoring on the first try? Because a couple of these, the ball lands back in your hands and you're able to get the easy layup.
Well, especially for the spin move. The spin move is good, but it can be bad also because I have my back to the basket. But a lot of them I'm just out of control, just going way too fast. I need to slow it down and get on balance.
Throughout these 3 games, you didn't make a single mid-range pull-up. A lot of people talk about becoming a 3-level scorer. You obviously have the ability to score around the rim, and we'll get to your 3-point shot later. But where do you think you need to improve on becoming more efficient in the mid-range?
Well, what I've been working on is like getting on balance because a lot of those shots I was off balance. Balance is really like a thing that I wouldn't say that I struggled with last year, but it really wasn't my best. So I think to do better is just to get on balance and don't rush my shot. A lot of those shots were rushed and just bad timing.
A key for you, I'm assuming, is going to be having both feet facing towards the rim because I noticed in a couple of these clips, your feet aren't exactly angled correctly to the basket. Is that something that you want to fix and be better about next season?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That all those things are something that I'm working on right now and hoping that I will improve, which I am, and I'll be able to display that next year.
Des, I think sometimes you kind of get classified as a non-shooter, which I don't think is very fair to you. You shot 33% on over 4 3-point attempts per game. The one thing that I did notice with you is a lot of your 3-point attempts, they're either off the dribble or off movement, off ball. Um, it shows that you have confidence to shoot the basketball and you're not just taking these spot up looks that you have a bunch of space.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of my last year I was, because my sophomore year I wasn't really confident to really shoot the ball. So this year I put in so much work getting my jump shot better. I think sometimes I got like overconfident and I would just shoot, which a lot of them weren't that good of a shots. But the ones that, not even the ones that went in were good shots. But yeah.
And then in a couple of these clips, you're confidently pulling up off the bounce and knocking down the 3-pointer. How much does that sort of open up your driving game if you want to, knowing in the back of the defender's head that you can pull up from the 3-point line and make them pay?
It makes my driving to the basket a lot more open, because I think, at least for me, it would be hard to defend somebody that I know that can shoot. But if I get too close up on them, they could possibly go past me.
Last season, you averaged 4.2 assists per game while also turning the ball over 3.7 times a game. As a wing and sort of a jumbo initiator, what was it like for you carrying the responsibility of getting your teammates involved throughout the offense?
It was a big responsibility, because I don't want to be looked at only as a person that just is like selfish and scores. But I'm a team first guy, so like I definitely look to pass first. I look to score also, but I look to pass first. So I think that was a big thing, even to win and in my personal recruitment.
And then a couple of these passes I want to highlight. The first one against Huber Heights Wayne, it seems like you have a design press breaker play to go deep, and it wasn't really there. I compared it to Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback, with that hairmail pass. Was that you just being a little greedy going for the deep ball?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't there, and I just threw it, got happy, thought it was going to work, and it ended up didn't work.
Yeah, but then on the very next play that I have against Lyndon McKinley, you kind of throw it more basketball style, unlike football, and you hit your teammate perfectly in stride. That was a really nice play. And then the last one that I really want to hear you discuss is the play against Heber Heights Wayne, where you got isolation up top and you whip it one-handed. How long did you see your teammate open in the paint? Because you were really confident after letting this one go.
I saw him open for probably, it was probably like a second, literally, and I didn't want to wait any longer to pass it, so I just kind of just beamed it, and I knew he was gonna catch it, but he didn't end up finishing, which is okay because he ended up finishing.
Last season, you had 1.5 deflections a game, 1.9 steals per game, and half a block per game. It seems like you really take advantage of some of the less athletic players and hunt some blocks and steals, as you can see throughout these clips. Is that kind of your mentality on the defensive end for
It
St.
is.
Francis de Sales, like wanting to create some steals against some maybe less athletic players?
Yes, it is. It's I personally wanted to do better, but I didn't get the chance to. But when I had the chance to go after blocks and steals and everything, I took advantage of it.
It How do you know when to kind of go and gamble for the steal and when to play back? Because it seems like you have a good sense of when you're going to be able to make the offensive player pay and not get yourself out of position too often.
For the gambling part, I normally just look at the person's eyes, and I could kind of just tell when they're just looking like they're going to pass it, and when they're looking like they're going to pass it, I just go. And then when I don't gamble, it's normally because I'm farther back, or I just don't think I can get it.
Now, Des, my favorite play of yours from these 3 games that I watched for you was the steal on the pass from Laurent Rice. And the way you are just able to control this basketball with a defender on your back hip, and you don't ever pick the ball up with your second hand, and you keep control of it and lay it in, was absolutely unbelievable. Break down how you're able to make this play.
Like I mentioned earlier, how able to make this play is strictly the weight room. That's just like the weight room was my best friend and still is my best friend to this day. Being able to just go on the run and dribble on the run, and then being able to hold two people off, keeping my body in control. Yeah, that was just all the weight room.
So Des, it seems like you really try and force the opposing team to take mid-range jumpers, whether that's in man-to-man or zone defense. Is that something that your coaches try and preach when you're in that zone defense, to force people to take mid-range jumpers that are lower expected value shots because they're not worth three-pointers and they're not really at the rim?
Yes, especially in the zone. In the zone, we were just try to force them to the corner and take them and make them take contested twos, because those are hard, very hard shots to take. And he didn't want to give up any wide open threes or layups. So those were the shots that our coach wanted us to take, and that's what I tried to do.
And then your matchup against Chance Gross was really entertaining to watch. He's a very talented wing who actually just recently transferred to Dom Prep. Going up against talented players like that, what is that like for you? Because that's like a chance for you to show out and go up against some top talent in the high school game.
I love playing against other players that are considered to be top two. I just love it. I love to be. I'm competitive, so I love going against others that are good. And I just like to show. I like to show my part of the game and see people compare.
And Des, to wrap up this video, you guys had a great season, district champions before COVID-19 unfortunately canceled the tournament. For you, is a potential state Final Four berth next season top of the priority?
For sure. Number one.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me in the film room. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Once again, this was Des Watson from St. Francis Sales High School, who also runs AAU for C2K Elite. So Des, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.